My name is Bethany, and this is the Knitting Thru podcast. This is a knitting podcast. Sometimes I show things I'm sewing or crocheting, but mostly knitting stuff, and I think it's all knitting stuff this time, which is awesome. I do a once a month catch up with you guys throughout the year. Last time I missed one, so we did kind of 2 months of catch up because of lots of things going on. But today is the 4th of July. So if you hear fireworks popping off in the background, my neighborhood likes to do lots of fireworks. So we're just gonna act like those are just fine and dandy and keep going. I live in Indiana in the United States. It has been so hot and humid. Oh my goodness gracious. But that's the summer, right? And it usually gets hotter before it gets cooler. August and September can be a little bit brutal. And so I'm trying to revel in the cool moments and also really appreciate our air conditioning. Whew. So there's that. I'm going to go through some of the things that I've been working on this month. I think after I'm done with this, I'm also just going to go through my little whip cart that I have and sort out what I want to finish, what I want to focus on. I have a trip coming up. My husband and I are going to California because we're going for a celebration of life ceremony for his grandmother, which is not a great reason to be going somewhere traveling together. But we really do just love his family. And so it's kind of the best, worst circumstances to be enduring together. So, but because of that, I'm going to be out on the West Coast for about 5 days and won't have any kids with me. And so the responsibilities of just hanging out with a bunch of adults are quite different. And so I'm also only going to be able to have a couple of things with me because I do like packing pretty light for things like that. So anyway, before we get started and we dive in, I just wanted to remind you that if you leave a comment or you like the video or you share the video here, that helps this reach people who also like knitting podcasts around. So if you could take a moment to do that, that would be great. And subscribe if you haven't done that yet. I cannot tell you how embarrassed I was when I went on a knitting retreat with some friends. And I went there and both of the people who were sponsoring the knitting retreat, I thought I had subscribed to their podcast, but the YouTube algorithm just kept bringing them up for me over and over again. I was not actually subscribed. So I did that on the knitting retreat, but oh my heavens. I thought I was already there. I thought I'd already done it. Anyway, let's talk about, I only have one finished object today, so I'm going to show that first. Sometimes I show the whips first because I just don't want to be super finished object centric, but we definitely aren't going to do that today. So I have been obsessed with these Aniela hats or Aniela hats. I'm not sure how to say it. The pattern is by Vert and Rose. I absolutely love her stuff. This is a 2-color brioche hat. And so I did a beautiful fingering weight, this kind of electric blue. I held that double. And then this is a lace weight cashmere that I held triple. So the electric blue, I have the ball band around here somewhere, but it's a yarn that I got when I was in a yarn store in California the last time we were there. And then the cashmere is by Magpie Fibers in the colorway Selkie. It's in their plume base. It's so soft. Oh my goodness gracious. In fact, when I finished it, I let each of my kids try it on and they were like, yes, Mom, please make us one of these, please. So I might, there it goes. I might make one for each of them for our camping trip that we take in October. It's so soft and so sensory friendly. And also, I just really like this blue color. I got it originally because I saw an episode of Parks and Rec. It's the wedding episode. And she has this blue hat on and it's just stunning. And she's blonde, right? I have white hair in the front, right? So I was thinking it might give a similar effect with the blue when I wear it. But I ended up taking half of it and making this hat. And I think I'm actually going to bring it with me while I'm traveling, because when I'm on the planes and things like that, I don't know, I just feel weird about putting my head back on the headrest on the plane. And if I can have the magic of wool just kind of clean itself and I leave it out to dry and it'll protect my hair, then fabulous. That would be great. So I love the brioche decreases in this too. They're just really pretty the way that she has you do them. And I always have to look at how to do them again, but totally worth it. I think this hat would look really good with a pom on it too, if you're into pom-poms on your hats, like especially with this one. I'd probably put a fur one on there, but we'll see. I might do that when it gets colder. I don't know. I really like the ones that you can fasten on with the button. I think those are really great, but I still haven't quite sorted out how to do that myself. And that was all. I've been carrying my knitting around a lot, but not getting a ton of time to do it. So that was kind of a palate cleanser for me this month, because I was just trying to get things done. I have been working on a few garments and it is slow going on these garments, and I'm sure you'll be able to see why when I show you. But first of all, I have been working on my November jacket by Petite Knit. I still am in love with this. I still just adore the brioche. Believe it or not, I'm not sick of it yet. I'm still a little bit obsessed with brioche. I had this purple store-bought cardigan that was, I think in machine knitting they call it a tuck stitch, but it looks very, very similar to brioche knitting. And so I wore that thing out. I wore it constantly. So I got my little sleeve holes done. So I have just the tiniest bit here under the arms that's connected. And I did that for a little while, and I will say the body is, there's a lot of stitches on there, so it takes me a while to get back and forth on it. What's nice about knitting brioche flat is you don't have to adjust your rhythm very much, which is great. But I started doing one of the sleeves. This is actually the back shoulder part. Isn't that really nice? And another part of this garment that's really nice is this drop shoulder cardigan. And so half of your upper arm is already done when you have the, I don't think it's called a yoke for a drop shoulder, is it? Anyway, when you've connected the sleeves, right? Once you've gotten through that sleeve connection, half of your upper arm is done anyway. So I'm supposed to knit in the pattern, of course, it gives a certain number of inches that I should be knitting for the sleeve, but also length is just something you can adjust so easily in hand knitting your own garments. And so I probably don't have arms that are as long as Petite Knit's arms, and so I won't need to knit it for as long as it suggests The one thing that I'm thinking would probably be a good idea, even though I feel like this is taking me a while, is that I would do kind of a midway block for the sleeve, kind of measure before blocking and after blocking how much that is moving. Not because I don't, I mean, here's a couple of reasons. I'm not sure that this part of the sleeve will grow a lot lengthwise. I don't think that the brioche is going to grow a lot lengthwise, but this is, you know, half of the upper arm at least. And brioche does kind of grow quite a bit lengthwise, which will be great because I'll have a lot of positive ease in the sleeve. That I will love. But I think I will get more length out of this moving. So I'm still thinking about it, how to manage this yarn essentially, because I have come to the point where I am almost positive that I'm going to run out before I finish this sweater. So the yarn that I'm using is Nutidin's pencil roving in Flama Karen, the colorway. So first of all, if you have this colorway and you are willing to part with it and you would let me pay you for it, I would absolutely love that. Please, please, please reach out to me because it would just make my life if I could finish this cardigan in the same color. It would be amazing. I'm aware that brioche takes more yarn than your average sweater cardigan. And here's where I'm at. I believe I haven't actually weighed anything, right? So I should probably do that. That would be good. But here's my way of kind of measuring without actually measuring. One of my goals was to finish another plate for this sweater, which, you know, I didn't do for June, but that is totally fine. I put 2 plates together, right? Did the double-stranded balls thing. So did that, and it came out to 6 of these, right? Which are not exactly equal, but, you know, we tried. So I am almost done with the second one. This is the 4 from the 6, and then I've got this little bit left, right? This is going pretty quickly. I did from here to here one day, and then from here to here the next day, and then today I've only done this much, but I haven't done my evening knitting yet, so who knows how much longer we'll be able to go. Also, I have 2 more plates left, but they are the smallest plates of the whole batch. So I got 500 grams of this, which 500 grams of like a worsted yarn is not going to make a full-length sweater for me, right? Especially an oversized full-length sweater for me. However, because Nutidin is so much lighter, I thought surely that'll make it. But at the same time, this is brioche, which eats more yarn. And then I'm also, of course, holding it double to get to be able to get gauge here, which I don't even know if I'm on gauge because I didn't measure it. I just cast on because it's kind of oversized, and I thought that is just fine. So so really it's just anxiety. There's no actual measuring here. It's more like a Tevye situation where I'm saying, but on one hand, but on the other hand, but on the other hand. And so I'm slowly picking little pieces of things out of the yarn. I actually really love doing that. It's fascinating to me. I have an end here that I kind of wove in, but I haven't clipped yet. I haven't done anything with it. Here's the thing. I am not super practiced with Nutidin yarn. I love it. I love the way it just like warms your body almost immediately when I put it on. that is something I have really, really enjoyed in the wintertime. I have a shawl that I knit with Newton, and the wingspan is ginormous. I love it. So great. And I'd love to knit more cardigans out of it for the fall and winter time for myself. However, I don't think my go-to thing is going to be to knit brioche with Newton unless I have more than 500 grams again, because I do love having a whole cohesive piece out of the same color. I have the ability to kind of fade in other colors and things like that. I am going to see how far I can get on the sleeves with the 6 balls that I have so far. I am going to leave at least one plate unwound for if I do need to, fade something in, but I might wait quite a bit to see if someone in the world somewhere would let me pay for their Newton plates. Let us all say a prayer. Anyway. What is it? Sorrows and prayers, prayers and sorrows. I don't remember. Anyway, this is one of my favorite things. I'm so in love with it. Every time I lay it on my lap to work on it in the evenings, that's normally when everything is cooling down and the air conditioning is kind of giving me a little bit of chill, because obviously I'm not wearing as many clothes because it's so hot. And so I'll put on a little cardigan and I will have this on my lap, and I'm so excited about it. It is taking a long time, mostly because I have to hold everything differently so it doesn't break. And I purposefully put this on a 16-inch needle so that I could just go round and round and round without having to do any magic loop business, which helped. At first I picked up the stitches in kind of a magic loop way, but I'm glad I switched it. I have another 16-inch needle that I can start the other sleeve on, which would be great. Yeah, I'm hoping that I can get far enough on the sleeve to make it, because so far we're let me see, if this is up here, then we're already almost, kind of past my elbow. So I don't know. Because there's this thing too where when you wear your sweaters for a while, your elbows kind of stretch out the sleeve, which is fine, but sometimes it also makes the sleeve come up like this. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to make them a little bit like here, so that if and when that happens, it slides back, or if there'll be enough positive ease in the sleeve that it won't do that as much. So I would love any and all advice on this project, because I'm obviously trying to sort it out. Trying to sort it out daily, hourly, trying to sort it out. Okay, the next thing that I've worked on, you guys haven't seen in forever. I was actually working on this last summer for a little bit. This is the Porter cardigan, by Megan. I'll put it up on the screen. I absolutely love it. It's just cable-licious. Oh, look at that. Oh. This is the back panel. I chose to do the back panel first on purpose so that I could have the biggest part done first. When I first started it, of course, casting on the ribbing, no big deal, just keep doing ribbing forever, right? Did a one repeat of the cable chart and exhausted my brain. I was like, okay, I don't know about this. I'm not doing well. So now I've done another cable chart of another cable repeat of the chart, and that's really great. I think I need to do 5 before I start decreasing on the sleeves, but I feel a lot more confident about it. This little guy is on there to show that that is the end of my first 100 gram skein. So not very much more than 100 grams on here, but I really enjoy it. It's just a really nice, right now, it feels very different than when I started it. It's a really nice way to engage my brain. I really love it. I'm just really enjoying it. And the cables are just coming out so prettily. On the first try of the cables, I had to drop down and correct a couple of things. So I didn't have to do that this time, which is nice. Very nice. I love that there's just cables separating more cables. So good. I do think this often happens where I get really comfortable with something and then I start making mistakes. So I wouldn't be surprised if I start making a mistake with these guys, because I do feel like I kind of get what's going on with them. And often that is what happens. Yeah, that's what happens is I get a little too confident about what I think I remember. This yarn is, yes, Barocco Vintage worsted weight in the color 5177. 5177. And the reason I chose this yarn is because this sweater is going to be for my father eventually. At this point, it's already been on the needles a year. But it is a machine washable yarn. And so the swatch that I did here, I washed it and I dried it and nothing happened. It didn't change, it didn't shrink, nothing happened. So that's kind of what I would like this. That's kind of what I would like this to be. It's a wool blend yarn. So it's, oh, do I have one here? Yeah, from when it's 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. So I wanted to have the warmth of the wooliness in there, but I wanted to have also just the care for the acrylic for him, so that he doesn't have to worry about ruining something that I made him. Now, the last time we saw this together, this is a tank top that my sister and I are doing a buddy knit with. Oh my gosh. Her handle on Instagram is crafty as frick. You should definitely go follow her. She's fantastic. She knows all the fibery things. It's wonderful. This is called the Leela top. This side has not been blocked, whereas this side has. So that's kind of a fun comparison. And I got joined in the round, and I just finished, I'm starting this next little purl ridge here. So this is essentially going round and round in stockinette, right? I've got this little bit left of the first skein. I've got one more skein here. And so this is probably going to make it to, you know, a couple of purl ridges more. But then I have, you know, the rest of it to do. And I think I'm going to need every little bit of the yarn that I have. And so because I believe that, I've been slowing down on this quite a bit, because thinking of just knitting in essentially stockinette for 100 more grams of fingering weight yarn was discouraging me. But I remembered that the last couple of times that I've put a summer top in hibernation because I was bored with it, I never finished it. I frogged it. And so with this one, not only do I really like it and want to wear it, I want to finish it with Emily. I really would like to have us both have like our little buddy knits, and that would be really good. And if I did finish it before the summer was up, it would be nice to wear, you know, around. Also, I accidentally got 2 Magpie Fibers advents last year. So that's why I have these 2 things here. But I also got so that was the main skein, but each one came with like little trinkets and tools and minis. So there were 12 minis in each one. And that means I have like a full 24 mini set, right? And I've been thinking about starting this cardigan with it. And I think this with that mini set, like fade cardigan, would be so beautiful. And I have no fingering weight cardigans, none. And there's this one lightweight cardigan that's made of, I don't even know what to say. It's not like t-shirt material. It's more like super light sweatshirt material. I wear it all the time because it's just the perfect layer. It's really light, but it's also enough that I don't feel the wind on my back, which is important to me. And so it's worth it to me that I would be able to have a fingering weight cardigan, but also with how I'm struggling through the fingering weight business here, I just really wonder how well I will do. I think being able to switch colors so often would be helpful. And what I have picked out so far is this all over lace raglan cardigan, open cardigan. There's not really buttons or anything. And so I think maybe that would help. I don't know. We'll try it. I'm in love with this. It's so beautiful. I can't remember the name of the yarn. It didn't come with a ball band as the main color of the advent. So I just went online and like saw the closest, because this looks really close to what they have online for this color. So we're getting there. I think this is one of the ones I'm going to bring with me to California, because it really will be just, something I can work on. Last time I brought one of the socks that I had on the needles, which was really nice because I could just do stockinette on the plane even when it was dark. So who knows? I think that is what I will do. I think I'll bring this one, even though I want to bring the November jacket one. I don't know that I want to bring Newton on a plane. I know some people are really confident about it, but I don't know. The only other two things I've been working on are a couple pairs of socks. So my son's birthday socks, I've been working on the legs, and I've got like all this lint all over them because they've been stuffed in my bag. So forgive the little pieces of like leather fluff that are on these, because these are my handbag knit. So I think I have maybe 6 more rows before I'm done with the leg. He asked for some long black woolly socks, and I had him like just kind of lay them on his leg, and I said, is this what you were thinking? Are these long enough? And he goes, maybe just a little longer. And so I'm gonna go to a 60 round leg and then put in the heel. And then put in the heel, and then I'm just going to be putting the other cuff. I have the other cuff done already. Just throw that in my bag for when I am out and about. I really love doing that because anytime I'm in the drive-thru or waiting on, picking someone up or anything, all in a waiting room or whatever else, I love just being able to put a few stitches in, a few rounds here and there is really satisfying. So, the other one, I do need to find the other cuff. It's on the floor, I think, around here somewhere. My front porch studio is a little bit chaotic right now. I have a few sewing projects that I need to adjust. I need to put buttons on, I think, 3 different garments. And then I need to adjust the waistband of a skirt that I really like, but I'm probably not going to be wearing because it's a wool skirt right now. And then I have the edges of my quilt that I want to do, like the border of the quilt. I finished the top and everything, but I would like to use the fabric that I got to finish the border and then send that off. That would be really nice. And so I have some crafting goals for before I leave for California, but really there's just this like kind of empty space in my brain that I'm trying to sort out right now. That's all. Ew. Ugh. So I have this one that I'm just moseying through. I'm going to put this sock next to the table that I normally sit next to when I'm hanging out with my kids during the day. If we're one of our newest fun things to do is to watch this show called Storytime with Ryan and Craig. And it's just these two guys who read stories to children. And it's absolutely fabulous. They have a great time. They do these silly voices, and my kids love them. And I remember like reading Rainbow, right? All of that stuff. And being able to just like sit down, and there were shows where people read books to you. And so there are so many of those on YouTube, I've realized. But Ryan and Craig are probably our favorites. So it's nice to work on these during the daytime. I was working on them while my kids were doing swimming lessons because the sun was so bright and so clear that it was really easy to see how many rows I had done. And that's really nice when you're working with black yarn. So I'm going to probably, switch the other cuff into my bag and put the heel in this one. I usually, it doesn't, when I get to the foot, it doesn't go back into my bag, because especially with this, I feel like I'm going to mess up the gusset decreases if I can't look at it. And then by the time I get the gusset decreases done, I think I only have 20, maybe 25 more rounds. And so I don't want to overshoot the foot there. But this is Patton's Croy sock yarn in the colorway Charcoal. I really like this color. I've used it in a cowl before, and the black has really been color fast. It's been really great. I will say it's a toothier yarn, and so if you have a sensitive face, which I do, I really loved that cowl and I use it all the time. But when it was super cold, I kept like burrowing my chin in it, and by the time we were done with our camping weekend, my chin felt a little bit raw. So I am trying to fix that with this other cowl that I've put aside for now, but who knows if I'll get that done by October. The only other thing I've been working on is basically the thing that I've been trying to sort out is the yarn that I'm using. So I had this Advent from Sweet Georgia sock yarn that I got when I was in Fort Campbell when we used to live there. And so actually I might have gotten it after we moved just to remind myself of Fort Campbell, but there are this many colors in there. I think there were 12 something. I can't remember. No, I mean, I haven't moved any out of here. This is all of them. And then this was the main color. So the minis are on a sparkle base, if you can see that. And then this is the main color. So I cast on a cuff of the main color, finished that, kind of cut that off because I wanted to start the other cuff, and then realized I did not want to use these minis for this sock. I didn't really want to do that. I feel like they're just really soft and drapey. So maybe a shawl would have been a better choice for them, but instead what I'm doing is I'm making another hexagon flower for my blanket. So I made a summer fade hexie blanket last year. I use it all the time. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. So my plan this time is to make a more scrappy one, but make it like big. And also to do it, here it is. To do it more like English paper piecing style, where I have this, and then I'm going to do like white all around. And so I can connect them. I can connect this isn't a whole, maybe this will give you a better idea. I'm not done with this one, but we would have like white in between them, and that's how I would attach them together. But because I want to do that, I'd actually like for it to be bigger this time around. I think I want maybe for it to be a double size blanket. My kids and my nephews and nieces love when I break out the blankets that I've made. I've made a quilt, a quilt. I've crocheted a blanket, and then I'm knitting a blanket right now, and I have another quilt that I'm almost finished with. And every time I'm working on them, I think, you know, they really like those two. I've done a big granny square blanket, granny square blanket too. So I break that out for my little son. He really likes that one. I've got 2 more hexies that can go on here. I really love these blues. So of course I'm gonna do, I'm not sure. This is more of like a periwinkle purple kind of color. So it looks blue to me, but it's such a light blue that I don't know. I only need 2 more. So I'm not sure which one I will do. I might do these 2 and then do a scrunchie with this one for my sister. She really likes this color, and so I think it would be really pretty with her. So then anything that is left over from these, you can see I've kind of left this long thing because that's all that was left of this one, because I used a little bit of it for like the tiniest bit of color work in a sock, but that meant that there was hardly anything left of it. I'm putting the tiniest scraps into here, and I think maybe I'll do the leg of a sock with it. I don't know. I'm still thinking. So I really do use the tiniest scraps for things. And so I am going to be, after I finish this one, I'm going to do a red one, because obviously I've got that going on. But there are some in here. So, sorry, I'm blocking things. I've got, I think 6 total here. But I have a sock yarn, 100-gram skein of a sock yarn that's in an even darker red than this one is. So I think I'm going to use that as the 7th one. And still probably keep the lightest of these colors in the center and make another hexie. Another 7 hexies for this. I've really enjoyed doing this. I think it's going to be really cool and look very patchworky when I put them together. But I do want to put the white to kind of separate them. I think that'd be a really good idea. I do have these guys that I still need to attach other hexies to. And I feel like because I have a blue motif one already, 2 other blue motif ones might not be what I want to do, but maybe I will do them all in blue, and then those will be like the ones, those will be the blue ones. I'm not sure. Still contemplating. Since these are so variegated, I could probably get away with a lot of color choices with these. For the reading that's been going on, I finished a few books last time. I haven't finished any books this time because I just started listening to and reading quite a few of them. I just got the hold taken off of the Shift book, which is the 2nd book in the Silo series. The first one is called Wool, and that one was really good. And I'm wondering if I have 2 options for myself for that. One is I could either listen to a lot of Shift on my travel day on the way there, because I'm going to be traveling by myself on the way there. On the way back, I'm going to be traveling back with my husband. I don't know. Because there's also a category of a 24-hour book, which I'm almost positive I could do on my travel day. I could find a book that I would be interested in listening to that would be, that I could finish in 24 hours, especially when I just have myself to take care of. So that's a thing that I might do instead. But the Shift book is really good. The only reason I'm thinking maybe I want to listen to that one for so much time on the way there is I'm supposed to return it in 12 days or something, and I'm still only like 25% of the way through it. And the last time it got returned, I had to wait weeks to be able to listen to the rest of it and get it back. And then so I'm not sure. That should just be the theme of this podcast. I'm not sure, and I don't want to make decisions about it, but I must. The other book that I'm listening to is called The Wisdom of Your Body. I am not very far into that one. My sister recommended that one to me for the category in our reading bingo about a book about the body. I think I'm going to really like it. As a person who struggled with some eating disorder behavior early on in my adult life, I think it's going to be really good, especially coming right off of John Green's Everything is Tuberculosis and like realizing how much of women's attractiveness comes from standards of them being weak and sick. Yeah. I think I'm going to really like it. Another one that I'm just starting is called Biophilia, the connection between humans and other species. And so that one's a little bit heady, I will say. It's taking me a second to get into it. I am trying to not push through to the point where I just don't like it, but I am trying to give it a fair chance because I know that sometimes it just takes a second to get into the rhythm and the style of the person writing it, and I'm just not as into nonfiction books these days. I used to be really into them, but not so much anymore. Not so much anymore these days and times. And the last one that I've just started is the Book of Mythicality, I think it's called. It's by Rhett and Link. And we have just really enjoyed their content ever since the early 2000s. I've really loved their songs. I used to really love when they would upload a new YouTube video. Now, of course, they have tons of different shows and fun things that they do. But one of the categories for the bingo was to get a book from a discount or dollar store. Basically, the point was to like find the diamond in the rough, And so I went to this discount store in our town called Ollie's. And honestly, it's kind of an amalgam of discounted things. But they have a whole book section, which I did not know. And I just wandered around there while my sister-in-law was watching my children for our anniversary weekend, my husband and I's anniversary weekend. And I found this book, and it was for $4.99. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. And so far, I have really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Really, really. So I've got 4 books that I'm trying to get past the beginning of, basically. And then I've got a couple that are still on hold. One of them I was in the middle of, and it got put back on hold. And another one I am just kind of waiting to start it. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm I'm prioritizing Biophilia because that is the book that will get me a bingo. I don't know if it'll be my only bingo, but it'll definitely be my first one for this year. Last year with my family's reading bingo card, my entire goal was just to read a book that year. I had not read for pleasure in a really long time. And so I realized that one of the reasons is I really dislike getting interrupted. And so I realized I just kind of needed to chill out about that. I have 4 children. I'm going to get interrupted, and that's okay. Like, I have bookmarks. It's fine. And honestly, I've gotten some really dope bookmarks from the Knitting Nakabi subscription box. Favorite bookmarks of my life. So good. Wooden bookmark, leather bookmark, metal bookmark, beautiful bookmarks. Oh my gosh. I did not realize I would be so enjoying the bookmarks. I knew I would enjoy the yarn. I knew I would enjoy all the other little things, you know, the candle, the stickers, the notebook, but the bookmarks, oh my gosh, had no idea. So you should look up her Gothic literature boxes because they are dope. Anyway, I have lots of bookmarks now. Okay, I have 4, but that's enough. And I can pause, you know. And so last year I almost got a bingo, even though my goal was just to read a book. And then this year my goal is to get a bingo. So I wonder if I'll almost get 2. Who knows? So I'm hoping that I can finish Biophilia soon. Maybe that's what I should bring with me. Because I know this is what I've learned about myself. Sometimes I'm over analyzing like what I should bring with me, what would be the best project to bring with me. And I've realized that whatever is in my hands is what I'm going to work on. Whatever is in my hands is what I'm going to read. So if I put the things that I'm not super excited about working on in my bag to come with me, I'm going to still read them. I'm going to still do them. And honestly, in situations where I'm on a lovely trip and having conversations with lovely people, the project I wasn't so excited about seems better. So that's the plan, anyhow. And this is the part where I'm going to tell you goodbye and try to get organized about my life and brain. So wish me luck. If you made it to the end, leave me a comment. Let me know what you've been doing during this time. And I'll see you next time. Bye.